Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the studio. We're finally going to crack this thing open. I'm not sure how far we're going to get built. Um, we're going to be on oval overload next week, and I may have to sideline this thing once again. We got a race on the 30th, and I got to paint 3 bodies beforehand. So we're at least going to get this thing cracked open and see what it's all about. And appreciate you watching last week's video. That was pretty good. We are painting the next oval bodies. If you hadn't seen that, check it out. Those cars will be raced. If not, they will at least be run at the race. Supposed to be a big weekend on the 30th at Turn and Burn. Anyway, let's get the cracking this box open. But first, we did do a little improvement in here. It's kind of toasty in here now with the heat. We made us a door. Check this out. It's a door of sorts. I got a bunch of banners left over from the racetrack. And yeah, check it out. Getting quite toasty in here. We got a little gap at the bottom, still got some airflow. There's a giveaway car. I'm getting ready to mail that out as soon as Christmas is over with. But anyway, and there's the project cars right there. Let's swing around and get back to work. All right, I've had some Vanquish products. I've never had a Vanquish kit before. This thing is factory sealed, fresh from Anderson RC. Check them out. Supposed to be the latest and greatest, and of course, I'm sure they already offering up upgrades for it. So that's the nature of the hobby. I don't have my razor blade with me. Got a knife or scissors. That works. Whoa! Thing's got some weight to it, even though it's carbon. Sure, there's a lot of metal parts in here. Instructions manual, fancy. Lots of decals. And a box of bags. Looks like drive shafts. Skid plate and links. There's some weight right there. I'm sure those are stainless, most likely. Links. Our transmission. I'm looking forward to building this because Vanquish has got some. They are the luxury line of crawlers, I do believe. Shocks, threaded shocks. Looks like they're hard anodized, or at least anodized like a gunmetal gray. There's our axles. They are portals, and they are plastic. Yes, I do believe. Maybe. Yeah. They look a lot tougher than the ones on the base camp that I keep twisting off. That's your rear axle. There's your front axle and another bag of weight. There's the weights that go on the front axle. Steering knuckles, front axle. We got some, appears to be some thread lock and some grease. That might be lube, I'm not sure. Axles, they have a universal joint and some brass sleeves. I might imagine that goes in the axle housing to add some strength. Some chassis braces, and if you've built enough kits, you've got a box full of these little wrenches now, little 4-ways. And there are some ball ends in there, a couple body clips, spare parts, and then appears to be body post. And there's your chassis, and that weighs nothing. You got 2 chassis rails, shock towers built into them. Yeah, looking forward to getting this thing built and getting it run. The Vanquish wheels to go with it. And if not the latest, very hot off the press, Voodoo tires in the red compound, along with inserts, front and rear, 2 different ones. The fronts have a different compound, and up to 7 pounds, but these are the run flat type deal. Yeah, ultra air down, so they're already, you got 4 flat tires already. With a Tiken Rock 412, along with a Tiken RX4 and Spectrum, the orange edition. What else we got? We got a receiver, hubs, got a little bit of everything. We got everything to make this thing run. Like I said, I'm not sure how far we're going to get on this kit. At least want to get it open, see what it's about, and get this thing rolling. But the latter half of this video is probably going to be some bodies, because I got an order that's supposed to be here before Christmas, and if that does, we're going to include that in this video, because I don't have a lot of viewers, and it don't really matter. So I'm going to do a little bit of everything. We're not going to try to dedicate anything in particular. That's why it's my world. We get to do whatever. And yeah, we're not going to try to sell this as a rock crawler build video, because we're going to start it, then we're going to veer off, because that's what I do. I'm all over the place. That is life. So anyways, there is the beginning of the rock crawler build. And I don't know if I hinted around what's under the car cover, but that's going to be a build also, but that's not due till next spring. And that clear body over in the corner that you can't really identify is going to go on that one way or another. So stay tuned for that and subscribe. We didn't quite hit our 1,000. We got so close. I think we're about 135 away from 1,000. So the clock starts all over again after the first of the year. I'm not sure when the deadline is, but they have to have 1,000 and 4,000 hours in 365 days. And we really started pushing this channel back in May, and we got over 5,000 hours, but we didn't quite reach our 1,000. But we're going to keep doing what we do. I'm not going to change anything. No more than I'm doing anyways, just minor changes that the budget allows. A lot of this is just free because, you know, I have the equipment. It's not free. I had to get the equipment, but anyways, I have to do it myself. And shooting for having some merchandise next year. If we get that 1,000, I got to get some shirts. Not trying to buy your votes, but I would like to get some shirts and maybe some stickers made first of the year. And not trying to blow it completely up. We're just trying to get 1,000. That's all we want. And then we'll let it happen naturally after that. So anyways, we're going to be ourselves, and we're going to get into this kit. All right, just skimming through this thing. It's going to be a pretty quick build. There's what we come with. There's what we require. We're going to need our couple of nut drivers, a couple of Torx, or not Torx, but a couple of hex drivers, and needle nose, and some side cutters. Build the front axle, rear axle. Yes, front axle, rear axle. Build the portals. Go ahead and install your servo in the front axle. It's a servo mount on the axle. Build your links. He's got the real life size when you get done to match. Easy enough. Rear axle, portals. Then you start putting your chassis together. Chassis is basically like building Legends cars, 2 flat plates. And links again. Skid plate. Attach the links to the skid plate. Your battery tray. And then transmission. Transmission is only 2 gears, actually. It's got a spur gear. That's 3rd gear, I guess. And then, well, there's more than 3. Didn't see all that. Transfer case. Well, transmission still. Transmission, shocks, drive shafts, and body mounts. Attach your axles. Bang, you got a slider, not a roller. We got to build the wheels too. And then we're going to paint that Ranger body. It's going to be pretty cool. All right, we're back in the studio, and next week's video, not going to do it today. Next week's video will be brought to you by Next Oval Body and Carpies. We got our truck bodies, a couple car bodies. We got to get 3 of these trucks painted for next Saturday's race on the 30th. And looking forward to getting these things on the track. Hadn't seen any at our local track, so hopefully we'll spread the word and get some of these out there. But first, we're going to get on the VRD build. And judging by the way Vanquish normally does things, it ought to be pretty quick and easy. I've already noticed that they package things in a very good order. Bag A when you start, your grease and everything's in that bag, and you just go forward. So let's get dug into this front axle. Bag A, like I said, the grease and thread lock is already in bag A, so you don't have to go searching around for anything. And Looks like everything's very well labeled. There ain't but so many bags. So this ought to be a pretty quick build, considering. I'm not sure how I'm going to make this exciting, but I'm going to go ahead and just start getting this gear together. We may jump around. Not the most interesting thing to watch. Pretty simple here. This housing here. Maybe I should do like a live video like Harley Designs does on Friday nights. About a 3-hour build. Let's go straight through it. Less editing. All right, nothing super exciting there, but we got the center chunk built. We are rather liberal with the grease there. Make sure we got plenty in there. Went together fairly simple. A real big beefy bearing on this inner bearing on this pinion gear. So far so good. This thing is super nice. Let's continue on. We'll get this front axle built. All right, I did run into my first issue. One of the screws for the bearing holders in the front diff or the front ring and pinion was supposed to be 3x10s. I got one oddball as a 3x12, and it started to run. I didn't catch it, and it started to run through the bearing mount or the capture or whatever you want to call it, and didn't damage it, but it wouldn't seat right because it was about 2 millimeters too long. I didn't catch it until I was already started. I did have another 3x10 in my box, so we're going to go back to that. And because when I put it back in the, when I actually put the hogshead or the chunk into the axle, it wouldn't sit flat. And that screw, just being that 2 millimeters too long, was too much for it. So we're going to fix that right quick. We got the right screw in it now, or right screw to put in it, and then we'll go from there. So let's get this together and we'll come right back. Sleeves and bearings. The short side gets the brass sleeve, adds a little strength to the axle tube. Long side goes on that side, and then bearing and a bearing. All right, we got the beginnings of our portal here. Got a bearing, our stub axle here. Yep, simple enough. And then, how's that work? I'm just fumbling around here. I'll figure it out. All right, it's starting to make sense now. I am fumbling around a little bit, overthinking things, but it's going together relatively smooth. All right, there's our 2 knuckles built, about a pound worth. Should be pretty simple from here just to get everything lined up. Got a slot on the drive shaft and a slot on the other end of the drive shaft that goes into the portal. There is no differential, so that's not a concern. This one you do have to line up this little gear a little bit. Yeah, here we go. And you put your sleeve bolt on there, sleeve screw. next week will be bodies. Once Christmas is done with, we got to hustle and get 3 oval bodies painted. And then the following Sunday will hopefully be race coverage, if all goes well. That's complete front end minus the servo. Silky smooth going forward. We got a little bit of a hitch, not really, going backwards. That might be the nature of the spiral cut gears. All right, here's an unboxing of sorts. We got a Reefs RC Raw 800 LP, fresh out of the box. We do also have I believe we have a Reefs servo horn. We're not going to use the Vanquish does come with a metal servo horn, but we're going to probably use the one that came with the servo. Well, it didn't come with it. It's just the same brand. All right, we got our servo. Servo mounts to the servo, pretty easy. That would be these flathead screws. Want the larger head for strength. And I already got it upside down. Look at there. Need to not rush through this thing because I'm probably not going to finish tonight. Well, I'm not going to finish tonight. How's that? But please stay tuned and subscribe, as we will finish this thing soon. I'm not going to bore you with me running screws into a servo mount, so we'll pop back on when we get this thing installed. All right, we about got this front end buttoned up. Forget everything I said about the screws being wrong. That was me. I was totally wrong. And I'll be the first to admit when I do something wrong. I put the wrong screw in the wrong place, and come to find out, I think we're good to go. All the parts are correct. All the screws are correct. That was my mistake. I did not look ahead in the instructions, or I didn't pay attention to how the servo mounted, and it all came to light when I had to put the servo on, and I realized these 2 screws on the top of the hogshead needed to be longer. I only had to have 2 8s or 10s, and I accidentally put the 12 in one of the bearing carriers, or whatever you want to call it, in the center. And yeah, my mistake. Supposed to have a 3x12, and there's one 3x12 in the steering linkage. So yeah, I'm the first one to admit I messed up, and sorry, Vanquish. That was my bad. I did hear a rumor that there was some screws that might have been mismatched, but no, it's me. I'm wrong. All right, we got the steering linkage on, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and put the servo horn on. We got the Reefs servo horn to go with the servo. The Vanquish one's probably just fine. I'm not sure if it matches 25 tooth. It may. That's 23 tooth. There we go. It wouldn't work anyways. So let's get this on. We're not going to have to worry about centering the servo right now because it's easy to get to. It's going to be hanging out the front of the truck like that, so it won't be a problem getting to it. And so no worries there. That 12 millimeter that I put in the wrong place actually goes in the servo horn. And if I was paying attention, I would have caught that. Workspace is a mess. Found my screw. Slid under a bag. We're just going to generically place it here. Like I said, once I get powered up, I'll pull that back off. We'll put a little drop of thread lock in those screws just for security purposes. But anyway, there's our front axle complete. Like I say, once you pay attention to it and put the right screws in the right places, it goes together real easy. So pay attention, kids. Anyways, I'm going to jump on the rear. I'm going to skip over because it's a lot of repetitive stuff other than me screwing up. And we'll skip over the rear end, and I'll come back once it's completed. Wrapping up the rear end, it went pretty straightforward, as if the front, well, as the front should have, but that was my mistake again. Last little detail is the oil plug. You got a little filler plug on the back, and it comes with a little tool, like a socket that fits right over it, and that way you can re-grease your rear end on the go. And these little scale things like this, that's what I like about the crawler scene, is all the scale stuff. But anyways, we got 2 axles built onto the chassis. 2 flat plates. Builds a lot like a Legends car. Just has some braces in the center. They are carbon fiber. That's hence the name, the carbon. Straightforward, easy to read. Another cool sticker. Let's get this cracked open and sort these out. And yeah. All right. Onward and upward. First brace. Front of the chassis. And that takes 2 3/8. 3/8. 3/8. I wish I could condense it all the way to a completed running truck, but I won't be able to do that today. It is Christmas, by the way. Merry Christmas. It's Christmas Eve, and we're working on a video as usual behind. And then we got this straight bar. All right, there's half of a chassis. We're going to repeat the process on the other side, and then we'll come right back. All right, we got a complete chassis. Now onto the links. And I do not have a link driver. They make a link driver that'll drive these ball ends on, or these link ends, and they are a lifesaver. I don't have one, but we're doing it by hand. We got one built and several to go. So get these links built, and then we can attach the axles to the chassis. Yeah, I'm trying not to put any pliers or anything on here because I don't want to scar them up, even though they're going to be dragged across some rocks in a couple weeks. You want it to be new when it's new. Anyways, let's build some more links and we'll come right back. I keep saying we're coming back. We're here. Yeah. Trying to get this thing at least into some kind of state tonight before we call it a night, and we'll try to get back out here tomorrow and at least make it roll. It's going to take a minute to build the wheels. Also, the wheels have several components to them. Anyways, hop off, get these links built, and then see how far we get. All right, guys, we got the center skid plate. We got the front, upper, and lower links. So, of course, we got all the links built. That was a little bit of a task, but we got it done. We got the front links in. We got the skid plate. We got the radio tray, battery tray, whatever you want to call this tray. Electronics tray. Got that installed. We're inching closer to putting the axles in, but I think we're going to have to call it a night. It is Christmas, and I'm cutting it short as usual. And yeah, we got axles. We got a chassis. We got front links. Rear links are built. Just have to install them. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I hate to cut this thing short, but I'm going to have to. So I hope y'all have a Merry Christmas, safe Christmas, and all that good stuff. And I may try to come back in before Wednesday and do a little quick video recap on this and have it as a roller. But yeah, sorry I couldn't get it completed tonight. We're simply running out of time. We're on schedule next week to get these. I have to get these 3 oval bodies painted because we are racing next Saturday, and I can't live in the shop. and I don't want to live in the shop. So yeah, let's get in the house, do Christmas stuff, and we'll catch back with you. And like I said, like, subscribe, comment. Uh, awesome kit so far. My mistakes on the front end with the screws, and yeah, can't wait to get this thing on the trail. So anyways, like, subscribe, Merry Christmas, all that good stuff, and we'll see you next time.